Breaking news, Nigerians. We don't come back again with another Ogbonge update. I beg this one at Prospect Channel TV. If you just join us for the first time, please subscribe. Share this video, make it go viral so that Nigerians could understand wetin dey happen, especially the Biafrans. My people, they tell una now say victory is for the Biafrans. Wetin dey happen right now. Victory don dey knock for Nnamdi Kanu's door. And Simon Ekpa, I go leave you make you watch this video so that you go understand what is happening. I will be right back.
Man like this doesn't know the law. You don't know the law.
I'll give the petition.
I have petition against him. Nonsense. Nonsense. Why is it when it comes to my case, they turn the law upside down? They turn the law upside down. Upside down. Upside down. The rules. Who are not educated. I am an educated man. I can't show them the petition for the simple reason that if you show it,
what the judge said was that the case file.
Listen, this is the laws of Nigeria. The prosecution, and this court doesn't know the law. That is the fact.
Yes.
Poor knowledge of the law is killing Nigeria. Poor knowledge of the law, they don't know the law. This is a federal gazetted law of Nigeria that says here that the chief judge of Nigeria cannot tell Binta Nyeko what to do. It's here. It's your law. Just obey it. That is why I do what I do. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra by right to agitate. My right. They turned it from treasonable felony now to terrorism. Stop talking when I'm talking.
Have this mindset of Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist, is an IPOP terrorist, is the reason behind the killing in the East. Nnamdi Kanu has been arrested for years now by the Nigerian government. The reason for his arrest, Nnamdi Kanu was agitating for the freedom of Biafra because the people of Biafra are being oppressed by the Nigerian government and not given the right position or allocation or whatever, the right power to lead their people. So Nnamdi Kanu wasn't agitating with guns, he wasn't fighting anyone, he wasn't fighting with the Nigerian government. He was in a peace talk with the Nigerian government. So the Nigerian government started threatening him. They went to his house. They even keep people in his house. Nnamdi Kanu have to run for his life because the Nigerian government want to kill him. He ran to Kenya where they arrested him and extradited him to Nigeria. Now, why was Nnamdi Kanu arrested by Nigerian government? First, Nnamdi Kanu was exposing too much about the Nigerian government. If you go back to Nnamdi Kanu's video, you will see where he was talking about all the things that we are facing today. The Fulani men, the state capturing. Everything that Nnamdi Kanu said is what is happening today. We Nigerians are supposed to apologize to Nnamdi Kanu for thinking that he's a bad person all this while. Now, since they arrested Nnamdi Kanu, the killing in Nigeria has increased, not only in the East. Because the East is the Fulani that is killing in the East, the same Fulani is killing in the North, the same Fulani is killing in Edo State, the same Fulani is killing in the West. No one is held accountable for that. No one has been held accountable for the killing. All these killings since then, no one has been held accountable. All the Fulani that they arrested, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP they arrested, the Nigerian government called them the repentant terrorists. Said they have taught them, they are now changed. They recruit them and put them back in the army. Now the terrorists that are looking for a way to destroy Nigeria, Nigeria as a country, terrorists that are looking for a way to destroy Nigeria, you now recruit them, give them uniform, make them legal now. Now they are now legal terrorists wearing Nigerian uniform, army uniform, killing Nigerian soldiers. No one is held accountable for that. Nnamdi Kanu that has never fought any war, that has never shot anybody, that has never killed anybody. He was arrested by the Nigerian government and they don't want to free him up till now. Nigeria, if we know what we are doing, we are all supposed to be in the court, front of the court now, demanding for his freedom right now, not begging the government to. asking the government for immediate release, because Nnamdi Kanu has done nothing to Nigeria. It's not the reason for the killing. It's not any problem to Nigeria. But because of bigotry, no, we will not come together and speak the truth. Everybody know that Nnamdi Kanu is an innocent person. What the Nigerian government is trying to put on him is a false narrative, but nobody wants to speak about it because it's political. They don't want to hear the truth. Whosoever that speak the truth, they come and pick the person. Free Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria government. Free Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is not the reason for Fulani killing. Nnamdi Kanu is not the reason why we are facing high inflation or every stuff that we are facing today. Nnamdi Kanu is not the reason. Nnamdi Kanu is in prison before Tinubu become the president of this country. So you cannot tell me that Nnamdi Kanu that is in prison is the one controlling all the killing in Nigeria, when no one is being held accountable. Those who were caught are being released and put back to the army to go and fight the same army that captured them and give them to Nigerian government.
Do you know why I have problem with some people who are called IPOB? Because, you know, the leadership of DOS, they are so ignorant or naive that they thought that, you know, bringing Simon Ekpa down will bring them up somehow, or maybe exonerate our leader, that our leader is fighting for something else. Maybe, I don't know what they think our leader is fighting for, or what Master Simon Ekpa is fighting for. You see, it does not matter. If they invite you, the Finnish court invites you to testify for Simon Ekpa is IPOB. When you go there, use the opportunity. Don't go with this acrimony and animosity. Use the opportunity to sell Biafra. When you go there, that's what I have always been preaching. If you watch all my videos, you see, any agitator, I'm not against any agitator. I don't care, as long as you are fighting Biafra genuinely. I support you. This is who I am. I'm not because of this or because of that. I started supporting even Owazulike before Nnamdi Kanu, and I support Simon Ekpa too, and Ngozo Arabez, and anybody fighting genuinely, unless if I can see that there's something wrong with your modus operandi, then I will just, you know, ignore you. But if Finnish court call you, and you know what the case is all about now, that they're accusing him of supporting a terrorist group, which means Nigerian government have already, why they say terrorist group is because they have proscribed IPOB. So what you did, going to say that Simon Ekpa is not a member of IPOB, you're right. You can say it, yes, with full chest, because that will exonerate him from that charge. You know, you have helped him with that charge that he's supporting a terrorist group, because his own group that he's leading, according to your witness, said that the group that he was leading is autopilot, which is not even in Nigeria or any other place tagged as a terrorist group, only IPOB. But you have already clarified that one, that this man is not fighting for a terrorist group. Can you understand? But people who don't know are jubilating. Yes, do you think, like Emeka Gift, what he wrote in X and on X, what do you think that he will get? Do you think that he will go and say that he member of IPOB? IPOB doesn't have a good name. In Nigeria, for example, they are banned. You don't know? Even in the Finnish court. And they're going to tell the Finnish court that these people are what? Proscribed. And somebody is using their name. But Simon Ekpa have always told them that he is on his own. He have nothing to do. He's supporting Nnamdi Kanu, yes, but everything he's doing it on his own will, voluntarily. So you have exonerated him totally. But to come out or to go there in the name of that, you just want to go and mock him or to go and put him in jail or whatever you think, you are killing yourself. What you should go there to do is that when they ask you, tell them that everybody is a member of IPOB. IPOB, meaning that is the full meaning of IPOB is indigenous people of Biafra. Is not any other thing. Anybody who is a Biafran is IPOB. But being a member, no. Yes, because he's not member of Finnish. He didn't register with Finnish. He doesn't pay dues there. He doesn't do anything. But he's a Biafran. This is what you tell them. And many people are fighting for the freedom of Biafra. This is what you tell them. That Nigerian government is buying Biafrans. So people rise up anyhow. That's why he rose up and he called himself autopilot. That meaning that after they took Nnamdi Kanu in prison, anybody can take off from anywhere. You know that. This is exactly as a very smart person. You coin it in that court because the whole world is watching. The whole world is watching. When Mossad they came, many other groups they came, but in the end, all of them united. This is the Israel you are seeing today. If you think it's only Mossad that fought, even Mossad was fighting the other ones too, like you're doing now. But in the end, they come together. When the time comes, they know that now is the time for us to come together. So when do you think you are going to come together? As you are doing like this, the case is in court, and you are going to testify against your own person. As a make a gift tweeted. That's what I say. I could have, tagged that tweet, a make a gift tweet today. Because that guy is doing a lot of damages. Because of his hatred for Simon Ekpa. That's all. He's not doing good for anybody, for the struggle. He is not more Biafran than anybody. If you think. He's in media, yes. And he's just tweeting rubbish. If I were the DOS, the head of the DOS, I would suspend him. Yes. I will query him. This is not what he should be doing. Anywhere you can promote Biafra, you promote Biafra. But in the end, Simon Ekpa will be free. He will get, unless if he commits any other thing that I don't know, but as long as it's just self-determination, and today you have already just, you damaged Nigerian's case. Thinking that you are helping them. No, if they pay you, then you people, man. Some of you people disgust me, man. Seriously. I wish that Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa will just come out very quick, very soon, and all of you will see how they will clean the house and bring the people who are ready to fight for freedom. Then all your chaff will just go in the waste dustbin of history of those who had some time ago. You wore IPOB attire. You come out there. Very soon they will, if Simon Ekpa managed to be found guilty, your activities in Finland there will be banned. IPOB activities. If you don't know, you know it. It doesn't matter if you say there's a man, he's a member of IPOB. Yeah, I don't know him. You knew him. He's a Biafran. Even if he's not a member of your unit or wherever, but he's a Biafran. He's a freedom fighter, like all of you, supposedly. He's a freedom fighter. That's what I would say in court. and the Finnish court will know that if they ask you more, you tell them about Biafra. Tell them a story about Biafra, how they are buying us, what is happening. You know, that is the opportunity you have. You know, you have that opportunity today. I don't know what you went there to do, but whatever happens, let's see how it goes. But some of you disgust me. I mean, seriously, you do. So, Biafrans, lovers of freedom, let's continue. Tomorrow, Nnamdi Kanu will appear in court too. Let's see how it goes. All of you have seen what is happening in Biafra land. The kidnappings have started. Where is Simon Ekpa that you have been blaming? Who are you going to blame now? Who are you going to be blaming now? That's the problem. The guy is resting. He's resting. His name just calm. Before, everybody, Simon Ekpa. Now what? Who are you going to call now? Can you tell?
What up, gentlemen? I told you people I'm going to mention 3 important things in my next video. VDM, this video now is specially for you. So make sure you watch this video to the very end. I'm going to mention what you need to do and what plot they are making against you at the end of this video. Say, pay close attention. Me, I know be pastor, I know be prophet. I'm not prophesying. I'm saying what is going to happen and what they are doing already. Now, why is Nnamdi Kanu still in detention up to today? He is there because he is seeking independence from a country that is not yet independent. The sole reason behind his detention. Look at this. The president of America, a whole America, he came to that meeting with a tape. He played the tape on the screen. Everything he was explaining is that Julius Malema should be locked up. That Julius Malema there is just like Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria. Now, Africa, if not number 1, it is number 2 of continents blessed with mineral resources. But the same Africa is the poorest of all the continents. What's the cause of this? Look at this. This is a helicopter that Western community to Nigeria. They are supplying ammunition to terrorists in the country. France has the second gold reservoir where their land does not produce not even 1 piece of gold. All their gold are gotten from Burkina Faso. Now, the president of Burkina Faso, we are puppet to these communities before. Now, Ibrahim Traore rose from nowhere and said no to it. And now, see the infrastructures they are developing in Burkina Faso from the mineral resources of the land alone. And that is why Africa is suffering from 2 major things. Number 1 is poverty, and number 2 is insecurity, because they are using the insecurity to distract the people, and they continue to be extracting all the mineral resources in Africa to their community. Now, this brings me to the number 2. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why Yoruba, Hausa, all of us to put hands together and make sure that Nnamdi Kanu comes out. Nnamdi Kanu, seeing all this marginalization, he said, my own people, the Igbo people, we are not going to continue to suffer where we are blessed with all these mineral resources. He said, I and my people, we are going. He is speaking for his people. You that is Hausa, you that is Yoruba, any tribe that you call yourself, you don't even have anybody speaking for you. That means you are even hopeless. And number 2 reason is that the whole country is suffering from the same thing. And if they succeed in buying the man in that place, both Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa, una go see shege. And one thing is that the man has already enlightened the Igbo communities about self-defense, and that's why the Igbo communities are enjoying a certain level of security by now. I don't think they can go to Imo State. They cannot go to Rivers State. They cannot go to Abia State. If they go to Abia State, they are going to count scores. If they go to Imo State, they are going to count scores. So it is going to even affect you people the more than the Igbos. Now, number 3 that is most important is for you, VDM. This is a business that has been going on for a very long time. Our politicians are active beneficiaries of this business. They are collecting percentage. They are making a hell lot of money. Like this, all of them know you. Both the beneficiaries of and the bandits themselves, all of them know you. You are going to spoil the business by telling the people the real solution. And the real solution you are beginning to tell the people is to mount their guard, protect their ground against these terrorists. If anything happens to you by any of the security agencies in this country, they are going to suffer. But if these people, these bandits, Fulani herdsmen, if they do anything to you, it will be difficult for somebody to stand up and recruit people that will go and fight back. Nigerian youth are not armed, but they are armed. And moreover, prevention is better than cure. Now, the plot now against you is this. They are going to attack another location. When they attack another location, they will put an informant in that location. That informant is going to pass information once you come to cover the places, to tell people what happened, whatever. They are going to share information, and that troop will come back. And when the troop come back, the target is going to be on you. They call somebody in that location to record it and send it to you so that you can post. If you must go, make sure that your security is very, very strong. If not, yeah, I know they talk nonsense. So your life is very, very important to Nigerian people, and you should take it serious. If you don't do what I'm
Well, this is the latest update about Simon Ekpa, about his trial that is going on. Everything you need to know, please just pay attention and listen to this next video from the beginning to the end. You'll be able to get everything. It covers everything, all the trial, where they are they going to execute, everything that you need to know about the case of Simon Ekpa. Watch his next video.
Today being the 23rd of June of 2025, the trial of Simon has continued, but this time it's for a possible bail. Yes, in this video we're going to be using illustrative videos and pictures to better portray our point. Mind you, these pictures and videos are not coming from the court of law. These videos are used for illustrative purposes only. Meanwhile, just in case you want to fact check us, or just in case you want to follow up with every single thing that will be said in this video, please feel free to visit the Paijahame District Court official website to get first-hand transcripts and to get first-hand info for yourself. With all of that being said, let's start this video and showcase every single thing that happened today in the court of law. First and first, Mr. Simon was live in person. Yes, he was live in person in the court of law today. He was represented by his lawyer in the person of Carl Kumeres. The prosecuting lawyer was also present in the court proceedings. The court session started by Simon's lawyer making a proposal and asking the presiding judge for a particular request. So the question here is, what is Simon's lawyer asking the court to grant his client? Well, this man was asking the presiding judge to possibly grant Mr. Simon a bail. To better understand every single thing that was said in the courtroom, let's listen to the words coming from Simon's official lawyer. He said, and I quote, "May it please the Honorable Court, my lord, I rise respectfully to apply for the release of the defendant on bail. The law is clear. Bail is a right, not a favor. My client remains innocent until proven guilty, and there are no facts before this court suggesting he's a flight risk, that he will interfere with witnesses, or that he will obstruct the course of justice. He has a known place of residence, verifiable sureties, and strong ties to the community. He has also cooperated fully with the authorities and has shown no indication of evading trial. Detaining him further serves no just purpose and only infringes on his fundamental rights. My lord, should the court be minded to impose conditions, we are willing to comply fully, be it travel restrictions, reporting requirements, or any terms that the court sees fit. In the interest of justice and fairness, I must respectfully urge your lordship to grant bail to the defendant. I'm obliged, my lord." And this, like I said, is a statement coming from Simon's lawyer, where he was asking the presiding judge to grant his client, Simon, a possible bail. But then that did not even end there. The prosecuting lawyer had to respond to the application or to the submission of the defendant lawyer. The prosecuting lawyer stood up to object or to prevent the court from granting Simon a possible bail. He claimed that this man, if you grant him bail, he will somehow, some way influence the individuals, influence the IPOB, influence the southeastern region of Nigeria, and somehow, some way create insecurity in the country. Yes, the prosecuting lawyer was fully against the bail condition, or to grant Simon a full bail. Yes, the prosecuting lawyer said if you grant this man bail, he will somehow, some way influence individuals in Nigeria. He will somehow, some way drop a tweet or send a message to his government, to the USP, and this can trigger insecurity in Nigeria, or to create individuals to stay at home for a lengthy period. Yes, the prosecuting lawyer also made a speech addressed to Simon himself. He states, and I quote, "Mr. Simon, would you confirm to this honorable court that you have on multiple occasions published content online promoting the secession of Biafra from the Federal Republic of Nigeria?" And before Simon responded to the question coming from the prosecuting lawyer, he asked the presiding judge to grant him the permission to speak. And the presiding judge gave him the green light and asked him to respond or to reply to the questions coming from the prosecuting lawyer. And Simon said, "What I have done, sir, is to bring international attention to the plight of the Biafran people. What is happening in the southeast of Nigeria is humanitarian crisis, and I chose to use my voice to highlight that. The prosecuting lawyer responded by saying, "That wasn't the question, Mr. Simon. I asked you if you promoted secession, not whether you justified it. Did you or did you not advocate for the formation of an independent state of Biafra?" Simon responded by saying, "I support the rights of the Biafran people to self-determination, which is recognized under international law. That does not mean I led rebellion." And the prosecuting lawyer responded by saying, "You are aware, are you not, that several of your broadcasts have coincided with the days of the sit-at-home protest, road blockages, and even violent attacks in southeastern region of Nigeria?" Simon said, "I'm not responsible for what others do. I don't encourage violence. If people choose to act, they acted out of frustration from years of marginalization." The prosecuting lawyer responded by saying, "But your words, your own videos, include phrases such as 'we must take back our land from the Nigerian state' and 'no retreat, no surrender.' Do you consider that language peaceful?" Simon responded by saying, "That is political speech. Passionate, yes, but not criminal. There's a difference between activism and incitement." The prosecuting lawyer said, "And yet, Mr. Simon, Nigerian authorities link several acts of violence and killings to the IPOB faction you promote. Are you denying any connection?" Simon said, "I have never ordered anyone to kill. If violence occurred, it is the failure of the Nigerian state and not my words from Finland." The prosecutor asked him, "So, you take no responsibility whatsoever for the unrest that followed in your broadcast?" Simon responded by saying, "I take responsibility for raising awareness. The blood on the street is the result of decades of injustice, not my live stream." Or to cut the whole conversation on, the prosecuting lawyer was asking the presiding judge to not grant Simon a possible bail. That this guy, if you grant him bail, he will somehow, some way influence other individuals out there and to create insecurity in the southeastern region of Nigeria. Interestingly, the prosecuting lawyer said, "Okay, if you must grant this man a bail, if the court of law must grant this man a bailing condition, he has to do or has to meet some conditions which are very, very stringent." Well, to better understand what I'm talking about, let's go back to the courtroom and hear what the prosecuting lawyer had to say regarding Simon's bailing conditions. He stated, and I quote, "My lord, should this honorable court be minded to grant defendants bail despite our objections, the prosecution respectfully proposes the following stringent conditions in the interest of national security and public order." The very first condition here is that the defendants must renounce in writing and on video all affiliations with the Biafran independence movement, including the IPOB and any allied groups, and publicly broadcast his renunciation across all social media channels within 48 hours of release. The second condition is that the defendant shall surrender all international travel documents, including his Nigerian and Finnish passport if he has any, to the court, and must not apply for replacement pending the conclusion of the trial. The third condition is that Mr. Simon must wear an electronic ankle monitor with GPS tracking, monitored 24/7 by the Finnish Security Service, and must not leave his registered residence without prior written approval from the authorities. And the fourth one is that he must shut down all personal and affiliated social media accounts, YouTube channels, live stream platforms, and Telegram groups immediately or risk automatic revocation of bail. The fifth condition is that Simon shall report physically to the nearest Finnish police station every morning and evening for biometric check-in 7 days a week until the trial concludes. And the sixth condition is that the defendant shall be banned from making any public statement, direct or indirect, about Nigeria, Biafra, the Nigerian government, or any issue related to the southeast region of Nigeria throughout the duration of the trial. And the seventh condition is that he shall submit a detailed list of all financial accounts and digital wallets, including crypto holdings, which will be monitored for any donations, transfers, or foreign contributions related to political activism. And the eighth condition is that the defendant, that is Simon, must provide 2 sureties, each a Finnish citizen with a no criminal record, each willing to deposit over 100,000 euros in cash as a bond, forfeitable upon any violation. And the ninth condition is that he must consent to the seizure and forensic examination of all his communication devices, phones, computers, tablets, for the purpose of ongoing investigation. And number 10 is, lastly, your lordship, any breach, including vague online comments that could be interpreted as incitement, shall result in immediate rearrest, contempt charges, and permanent revocation of bail. And this, like I said, are the conditions enlisted by the prosecuting lawyer. Yes, going through these whole conditions, we notice that all of them looks fair. From number 1 to number 8 looks fair. These conditions are something that anybody facing trial should meet. But the 9th condition is a problem there. Yes, the 9th condition doesn't sit well with me personally. Let me read out the 9th condition so you can see and understand. The 9th condition states, and I quote, he must consent to seizure and forensic examination of all his communication devices, phones, computers, tablets, for the purpose of ongoing investigation. This sounds like a big trap. Yes, this sounds like the prosecuting lawyer is trying to do something, but he is actually anticipating at this particular point in time. Interestingly, the moment the prosecuting lawyer outlined all of these 10 conditions that Simon must meet before he be granted bail, the defense lawyer, that is to say, Simon's lawyer, had to stand up and object immediately. Let's listen to what Simon's lawyer had to say. He states, and I quote, "My lord, with your permission, I rise with deep concern to respond to what I consider not merely an excessive bail condition, but a clear violation of fundamental legal principles. The prosecution is asking the court to impose a condition that my client, Mr. Simon, must surrender all of his communication devices, his phones, computers, tablets, for forensic examination as a precondition for bail. My lord, I must be blunt. This is not a bail condition. This is an open-ended investigative shortcut. This is not about ensuring attendance in court. It's about prying into every corner of the defendant's private life, professional activity, and constitutionally protected communication. The law is clear. If the state wishes to conduct a forensic search of its citizens' devices, there's a legal process. They must obtain a search warrant supported by specific credible evidence and subject to judicial oversight. What they are proposing have bypassed all of that. They are attempting to wrap investigative access in the clothes of bail condition, and that, my lord, is unacceptable. Let us consider what is at stake. The devices contain privileged legal communications, correspondence with international human rights observers, confidential information from journalists, and possibly even medical data. There are privacy rights at play here, rights guaranteed not just by national laws, but by international human rights treaties. If the court allows this, we risk setting a precedent which any accused person, even before conviction, is forced to hand over or the entirety of their digital life simply for the chance to await trial outside a cell. That is not justice. My lord, that is coercion. The prosecution cannot use bail to achieve what they do not have the evidence or the legal grounds to demand through proper channels. This is not just procedural flawed, it is constitutionally dangerous. Mr. Simon is here. He has submitted himself to the jurisdiction of the court. He has not absconded, evaded, or refused cooperation. There is no justification, none, for this level of intrusion, especially when framed as a condition for temporal liberty. And so, my lord, with all due respect, I urge this honorable court to reject this condition entirely. Let bail serve its true purpose, not become a tool for unlawful data seizure or intimidation disguised as legality. I thank you, your lordship. As you can see, this is a conversation, or this was a statement addressed to the presiding judge coming from Simon's lawyer, claiming that you cannot go through my client's devices when his case has come to an end. It's unlawful, it's unjust. As we speak, we don't even know why the prosecuting lawyer is asking to see the content of his devices. This sounds very fishy, and this sounds very upsetting. So let's go back to the courtroom and see what follows suit afterwards. After the lawyer representing Simon made a speech addressed to the presiding judge, the prosecuting lawyer asked the judge to have a conversation, to have a one-on-one conversation with the defense lawyer, that is to say, to have a conversation with Simon's lawyer regarding the bail conditions. Yes, these guys want to have a full debate and have a full legal-minded conversations in the court of law. And this is where trouble, or this is where drama kickstarted fully in the court session. So the question here is, what really happened? Well, let's go back to the courtroom and see the conversation between the prosecutor and the defense lawyer. The defense lawyer, that is Simon's lawyer, started by saying, "My lord, with great respect, I rise to challenge a condition which, if allowed to stand, will set a dangerous precedent, not just for this case, but for any defendant standing before any court in this jurisdiction. I refer specifically to conditions number 9, the demand that my client, Mr. Simon, must consent to the seizure and forensic examination of all his communication devices, including phones, computers, and tablets. This is without question an egregious overreach." The prosecutor responded by saying, "With due respect to learned counsel, this condition is neither egregious nor unusual under circumstances such as this. The prosecution submits that this condition is necessary, proportional, and entirely justified by the facts before the court. We are not dealing with ordinary suspects. We are dealing with a man who has used digital platforms to influence movements across national borders, activities which are currently under active investigations." Simon's lawyer responded by saying, "And this court to become an extensive of your investigative department? If the state wishes to search my client's devices, the route is clear and lawful. Apply for a warrant, bring evidence before a competent judge. The prosecution is attempting here is to circumvent due process by disguising state surveillance as in bail conditions. Let us call this what it is, my lord, a backdoor attempt to rummage through my client's private, professional, and privileged communications without judicial oversight." The prosecuting lawyer responded by saying, "My lord, we are not asking for access without oversight. The forensic examination would be conducted by certified professionals under court authority. Furthermore, the devices in question may contain crucial evidence that ties Mr. Simon to calls for civil disobedience, sedation, and even incitement to violence in Nigeria. We are investigating real-world consequences of his broadcast. Lives have been lost, communities destabilized." Simon's lawyer responded by saying, "My lord, even if that were the case, and I do not concede that it is, the prosecution cannot turn the bail process into an evidence harvesting operation. Bail is meant to ensure the defendant's availability for trial, not to secure access to materials that have no legal right to seize without warrant. Moreover, these devices include privileged correspondence between counsel and client, journalistic sources and contacts, personal, medical, and family records, financial information unrelated to the case at hand. You are asking the court to grant blanket access, my lord. This doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form." And the prosecutor responded by saying, "My lord, we must not elevate the defendant's privacy above the safety of the public. If Mr. Simon has been using these devices to fuel unrest remotely, as we suspect, and as an evidence suggests, then this court has the duty to act in the public interest. National security cannot be left vulnerable because of technicalities." And the lawyer representing Simon stood up and said, "Technicalities? Sir, you call the constitution a technicality? You call judicial process a technicality? The public interest is not served by trampling the rights of the accused. It is served by protecting the integrity of the justice system. Today, it is Simon. Tomorrow, it could be any journalist, any activist, any citizen with dissenting views. What's next? Mandatory polygraphs before the bail? False confessions wrapped in legal language?" The prosecutor responded by saying, "Let us not descend into hyperbole. The defendant is not being forced to confess. He is being asked to comply with necessary investigation under judicial supervision. And let the court note, this request is made in light of the fact that Mr. Simon operates from a foreign country and has demonstrated the ability to use online anonymity and encryption to conceal operations. This is not about punishing dissent. It's about exposing coordinated threats to lawful order." And Simon's lawyer said, "And I say again, if you have such evidence, apply for a warrant, bring a proper motion, but do not ask the court to launder an unlawful request through a bail condition. If the court grants this request, It invites abuse. It makes bail contingent not on risk of flight or breach of peace, but on how much digital territory the state can seize from an accused person. And the lawyer from the government said, and if the court rejects it, your lordship risks allowing a potentially dangerous figure to continue operating unchecked from the shadows. Simon's lawyer said, my client has been arrested, charged and brought before this honorable court. He has not resisted arrest. He has not absconded. He has not violated any order of this court. There's no legal basis, none, to impose a condition this extreme under the guise of fairness. And this, like I said, is a conversation that went on and on between the lawyer, the prosecuting lawyer, and Simon's lawyer regarding the bail condition. So as you can clearly see, the lawyer of Simon is not too happy with the number 9 condition, which we've explained, that gives the prosecutor the right to go through Simon's devices, all of his devices, from his laptops, his phones, and every other single thing out there. And this is what Simon's lawyer has been trying to prevent from happening. Anyway, just in case you find this video interesting, please do well to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Thanks. Back in the courtroom, the presiding judge will make a speech to address the defense lawyer. That is to say, the presiding judge will make a speech to address Simon's lawyer's statement. He states, and I quote, "Learned counsel, before this court rises, I would like you to clarify something. You've objected vigorously to condition number 9, the proposed forensic seizures and examination of your client's communication devices. You've spoken passionately, but tell this court plainly, why exactly are you so much against it? What, in your view, makes the condition so intolerable?" And Simon's lawyer will respond by saying, "Thank you, my lord, for that question. With your leave, I will respond as clearly as I can. My lord, I'm so strongly opposed to the condition because it violates the very foundation of what bail, justice, and legal fairness represent. This is not a routine search request. It is sweeping demand for total digital surrender without a warrant, without limits, and without relevance to the specific purpose of bail, which is to ensure my client's presence at trial. It is equivalent of handling the prosecution, a master key to my client's entire private life, his political thoughts, his conversations with journalists, even his legal strategies. Now, let me be direct, my lord. I object because the condition turns presumptions of innocence into suspicion of guilt. Object because it creates a backdoor to compel operation with an investigation my client is not legally obliged to assist. And I object because it sends a terrifying signal that an accused person must trade his rights in order to buy his freedom. This is not justice. My lord, it is coercion dressed in judicial robes. Furthermore, my client is a journalist, a political activist, and a man engaged in controversial discourse. His digital device contains names and faces of confidential sources, which includes internal strategy documents, private with family, physicians, lawyers, international observers. What the prosecution wants is not targeted. It is not specific. It is not supported by affidavits or reasonable suspicion reviewed by a neutral magistrate. It's a blank check, my lord. And if this honorable court endorses it, then bail will no longer be about liberty. It will be about leverage. I oppose it not because I fear what they may find. I oppose it because this court should not be turned into an instrument for political institution or investigatory shortcuts. Let us not betray the dignity of this court in the name of national interest. The moment we accept that principle, there will be no breaks left. My lord, this is why I'm so much against the 9th condition. I must oblige. At this particular point in time, the presiding judge would ask the defense lawyer, that is to say, the presiding judge will ask Simon's lawyer to please tell me or enlist bail conditions that sounds fair. Yes, me being the presiding judge, I want to hear you enlist bail conditions that are fair enough. And Simon's lawyer will say, my lord, in the spirit of fairness and a recognition of serious nature of the charges before this honorable court, the defense respectfully proposes the following bail conditions to ensure the presence of the defendant at trial while preserving his fundamental rights. The very first bail condition is residence restrictions. My client, Mr. Simon, shall reside at his location, which is a verifiable address in Lahti, Finland, and shall not relocate without notifying this honorable court and the relevant Finnish authorities. The second condition I think would make sense is travel ban. He shall not travel outside Finland for the duration of his trial without express permission from the court. The third is weekly reporting. My client Simon shall report to the nearest police station in Lahti once a week every Monday between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for documentation and confirmation of his continued presence in Finland, while the next condition will be passport surrender. My client Simon shall surrender both his Nigerian and Finnish passports, if available, to the registry of this court until conclusion of the trial. And the next is non-interference clause. He shall not directly or indirectly contact or interfere with any witnesses listed in the prosecution's case, whether in person, online, or through any third party. And the next is non-incitement undertaking. Mr. Simon undertakes not to make any public statement that can reasonably be interpreted as incitement to violence or civil disobedience during the pendency of this trial. And the next condition should be financial surety. My client should provide one credible Finnish surety of good character with no criminal record who will execute a recognizance bond of 30,000 euros. And the next condition should be digital activity declaration. My client, Mr. Simon, shall submit a signed affidavit to this court declaring that he will not use his online platforms, issue direct calls for protest actions in Nigeria during the trial period. However, he shall retain the right to express lawful political opinion consistent with freedom of expression. And the next condition should be availability for trial. He shall undertake in writing to be present at all trial dates as scheduled and not delay proceedings unnecessary. The next condition is automatic revocation clause. Any deliberate violation of the above conditions shall result in an immediate revocation of bail, issuance of a bench warrant, and forfeiture of surety bond. And these are the conditions enlisted by Simon's lawyer. He also went a step further to claim that, my lord, these conditions are more than sufficient to guarantee my client's ability and lawful conduct. They strike the necessary balance between the seriousness of the charges and constitutional presumption of innocence. I respectfully urge the court to adopt them in full. At this particular point in time, the prosecutor has stood up to heavily criticize and to heavily correct all the bailing conditions enlisted by Simon's lawyer. He started by saying, and I quote, "My lord, I'm grateful for the opportunity to respond. While the defense has submitted a set of what appears at first glance to be reasonable conditions, we submit that they are insufficient, lacking in enforceability, and fail to match the gravity of the allegations against the defendant." And the prosecuting lawyer went on and on to heavily criticize all the comments and heavily criticize all the conditions enlisted by Simon's lawyer. Things got really interesting and really intense in the court session, and that is when the presiding judge had to come in and calm the whole situation. So yes, so just in case you don't understand what is currently going on, the prosecuting lawyer told the court that Simon must meet certain conditions in the courtroom, and Simon's lawyer came up to say, no, your conditions are not fair, and these are the conditions I think Simon must meet or Simon must follow in order to get absolute bail in the courtroom session. Yes, these guys had arguments on and on until the presiding judge had to step in and calm the whole situation down. At this particular point in time, the presiding judge asked both the legal counsel team of Simon and the legal counsel team of the prosecuting lawyer to go for a short break, that is to say, to go for a recess and recontinue in a short period of time. So the court went on a recess, went for a short break, and they reconvened after 30 minutes. Yes, at this particular point in time, we don't have enough time to showcase what followed suit afterwards. We don't have enough time to expose all of the conversations had between the two lawyers and the presiding judges. But then tomorrow by 8 p.m, we are going to definitely continue the whole video and give you a detailed analysis of what followed suit afterwards. Yes, anyways, in our previous video, we gave a full and detailed analysis of what is currently happening to Nnamdi Kanu in the DS facility. Yes, just in case you don't know, a lot of activities and a lot of events has played out in the DSS dungeon situated or located in Abuja, Nigeria, that we all need to know and understand at this particular point in time. Yes, as we speak, Nnamdi Kanu's restriction has been heightened, his security structure has been heightened, and the level of security awareness has been increased. So the question here is, why is that happening? Well, in our previous video, we extensively exposed and we extensively showcased every single thing that's happening and playing out behind the scenes in the DSS facility, and how Nnamdi Kanu is currently faring. Just in case you missed that video, a video released a couple of hours back, we have a video right on this channel that will showcase and discuss every single thing that you need to know and understand. And that video is showing right now on your screen, so click on this video to watch and understand. Click on this particular video and I'll see you.
Alright guys, as you can see, Simon Ekpa's lawyers, they are really ready, fit for this case. Just like what is still happening in Nigeria concerning Nnamdi Kanu versus Nigerian government. So guys, there's going to be, boom, more interesting, things we afford. You understand? I go drop them for you. Please drop your comment, share this video, make it go viral. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye for now.